Okay, well, happy New Year, everybody, and I'll call the meeting to order at 9:04. We'll start with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the Indigenous peoples and ancestors whose lands we now share. We move to 2.0, the agenda. There's been some additions on the agenda, several additions. Anything else? If not, can I motion to accept the agenda?
Okay, just one from my side, not an addition, just I want to ask council if we could move the change of the joint council meeting agenda time to until after the in-camera session.
So we can come back to that.
Yes, please.
Okay, so that's, that was on item 6.1.1C. So we'll skip over that and come back to that. Okay,
Thank you.
any other? Yep. Nothing? Or move the motion? Okay, all right. All in favor? That's carried. Minutes from last year, December 10th. On the discussion arising, errors.
I'll move adoption.
Okay, Councillor Sharp moves to accept the previous minutes. All in favor? It's carried. No delegations today. We have one proposed land use bylaw amendment. Can you do that now? 5.0, item A. 2461-498. Who wants to talk to this one?
Okay, I will talk to it. Good morning. So the purpose of this, sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the purpose of the land use bylaw amendment is to redesignate a 10.9 hectare or 27.0 acre parcel located on the southeast of 329022 west of the 5th from the Agriculture General A District to the Country Residential General CR1 District, as shown in the attached sketch. The proposed amendment is being considered in conjunction with proposed subdivision application 24 NL 18. And the recommendation is to give first reading to land use bylaw amendment 2461-498 to set the date of February 11th, 2025 for the public hearing at 11 a.m. and to advertise in the Mile Zero banner post on January 22nd and 29th, 2025.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions on that? If not, I'll look for motion to give first reading and set the date for February 11th and advertise as mentioned.
I'll make that
Okay,
motion.
Councillor Heffernan makes that motion. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Okay, we can move on to 6.1.1. Item A is RMA 2025 member visit scheduling.
We received an email from RMA we got lucky tip for the visit. And we just, they said a standard 1 hour meeting and maybe extended 2 to 3 hours meeting. We can learn more about the operations and we want our municipality, what makes our municipality unique. So I think this would be an in-person meeting that they will come up and join our council over here. And mention of maybe we should do it in the same time that we have our 30-year anniversary. That would be a good idea. Not a bad idea.
So are they fairly flexible on their dates?
They haven't really given us a date that I can see.
Because I mean, typically when they do this, they like to tie in all the other northern ones too, right? If you want to come up to for us and then.
They can't make your Tuesday.
I'll reach out to them and see if I can get maybe an idea of a date from them and then I'll bring it back to council. We do have a whole year to do this. So.
Or maybe, do we want to send an email to the CEOs of the other ones in our district and see if we can all line up on some days? make it easier for them to do a.
Yeah.
A loop or something maybe.
Can do that.
And I don't know necessarily that having it on our anniversary would be that good, it'll kind of distract from having a good conversation with them.
Yeah.
I mean, if it works out, it does, there's not, no harm in that, I just assume see it separate. Okay, so we'll have Gerhard reach out to the other CEOs and see if we can find a date that kind of works and to do their northern tour.
Well, there is twice per month on Tuesday.
They're busy.
Yeah, those ones are
Twice, they're for Tuesdays.
But there's the other two that they're not busy.
Yeah,
So maybe it's the same time as we are. I'll check.
I'm okay to make that motion, Teresa.
Okay. I'm just looking at their charter, it's kind of confusing, like twice per month on Tuesday, well, that's us. And twice a month on Mondays, so,
but they don't say it's every first and third.
or is it
These are every second Saturday.
second, once for us?
I think that Clear Hills meets on Mondays, don't they?
And Clear, it usually meets on Tuesdays as well.
Are they Tuesday as well? Okay. Maybe that's like our means or something.
Anyway, we have a motion by Councillor Chuck that we'll investigate, try to find some dates and. We have put a deadline when we want to know that, so. Oh, by January 31st, it says.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
Next meeting.
The next meeting.
okay, any other questions? All in favor? Carried.
If you want to decide that they're going to do 1 hour or more than 2 hours.
We can do that next meeting. What, I mean, they come all this way, 1 hour is pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's in the summertime, and maybe we can even take it somewhere.
So I was gonna say, I think we had lunch last time
We did.
when Paul come, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, item B is municipal membership renewal for Plains Beach Tourism.
So you received an email, then asked, it went up from $2.81 to $2.89 per capita. So the new fee is 10,000, well, it's GST, so it's $10,927.23.
And I mean, that's budgeted, right?
It's in your preliminary budget. I think it's on here. You guys, presentations and then at the end of 2024.
Yep.
So just here to make sure if you're still comfortable proceeding that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Who sits on that?
Brenda.
Brendan, yes. I know I had a reach out from Mackenzie, what they call themselves, Frontier Tourism Association, and wondering if we would want to join with them and we will drop these guys, but I don't have no idea what their fees would be, probably gotta be similar, you would think, but I have no idea what these guys even do. And they got a website, they put links to us on there and promote us at trade fairs, I guess. So. Okay, well, I guess we just need a motion to acknowledge receipt of that and renew it, if that's what we want to do. Okay, Councillor Feast will make that motion.
I just have one.
Yeah.
Before I go, Mackenzie County, try to check out what they do. But they usually ask you to join in. You have any information on Mackenzie?
Yeah.
That tourism?
We get them to present to us, I guess, and so I have no idea.
No, that's what I mean, that's just be neighborly at least.
I mean, do we have more in common with Mackenzie than we do with, say, Greenview or Grand Prairie? I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle here, right?
Right. It was just a question mark.
Yeah. Yeah. Next time, see there, I think Lisa still chairs, I would think. Lisa Woodley.
Just ask her to send us the information.
Just, inquire more about it, but I guess for this year, we'll stick with these guys. And Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, we're gonna skip over item C, move down to item D, the Ag Service Conference coming up here next week. Up there.
So with, Brenda not here, not able to make the conference, we were looking, are we gonna, is anyone also interested in going in place, or do we just cancel that? That's
Which she's definitely canceled them. Yeah, because this is a quandary, we always have them if you cancel. Then you get your registration back and they, I don't know, they have a fun system of doing it. But, yeah, so is anybody else interested in voting or? I mean, I'm sure we can get it refunded if not, but.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, well, we'll just have Blake investigate it, what a refund and get a room cancellation.
But I need confirmation on the Mondays, you're all driving Monday? Because I have rooms booked for Sunday night in case somebody needs to go Sunday.
I just see the agenda here this morning.
Well, it looks like 2:30 to 4:30 is the ASB chairperson and maybe take field, so. Carry that would be really.
Yeah, so I the chairman, so, yeah, I guess I forgot about that, because typically Monday is just kind of a registration.
Yeah.
Meet and greet day, there's really nothing going on,
That's it.
but the chair meeting is at 2:30. So,
Are you gonna draw
Oh.
Terry or?
yeah, well, I'm not sure yet, I'm gonna talk to Blake and see what he's doing, he's going along, when he's going.
What's it going?
No, he's going. I don't know if he's taking his family with him or. But I'll check with him later.
Carrie, did you driving yourself or?
Yeah, Dean's going with you.
Yeah, but that's not a big deal if you wanna,
But when you guys go, what day?
we'll probably go Sunday.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
And
let's,
we'll let you know, Teresa, before the end of the day.
Okay.
If you have to cancel the rooms or not. You know, this is a wait, he's not on the agenda today, is he? Was he?
Yes, it is.
I think he's going. Well, no, he is
No,
here.
he's got.
He's got some stuff here. Okay, so we'll have him. See if you can get a refund on Brenda's registration, and then we'll sort out the whole rooms accordingly. Okay, item E is the water management, now there's Memorial 2025 conference.
Terry will make. a motion.
Oh, I guess we need to just accept it for information, sure. Okay, Councillor Alves makes that motion, all in favor? Where's this conference at?
Isn't that the 26th of February?
That's Gary went last year. Oh, 2 years ago. Attended the conference on February 2023. And then 25th is a council day, so did you see the value of going again or?
I'm not sure. Some of it was, like about half of it was really, really in-depth and technical, that sort of, and then the other half was pretty good, but, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean. Technical, no, I guess my feeling is water is becoming a very big issue. We have dryness we're having, low smoke back again this year, not as bad as last year, but it's not looking good again for.
Yeah.
Charles, do you have some of your stuff going on yourself?
not currently, but I think it would be a good idea for either myself or our utility super to go.
It might be a better,
Yeah.
a better fit, right? So.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, like I know when we did or when I did, Water North Coalition meeting, like, pull a lot of good information out of it.
Well, there's,
Like, it's very informative. So I think it's extremely beneficial, especially in the situation that we're in.
And some of the people at the meeting, I did hear that it was really nice to see our representation there because we haven't been there for quite some time,
Yeah.
so. Just in terms of that water.
No, and that's kind of why we started going again, is I started it because that comment was made, so.
So we don't need a motion to send administration to it. But be our recommendation, all that administration does it, and so.
Yeah, no, we'll figure out someone to go.
Okay, so if that's good with council, okay, council therefore rules that we accept the information and have administration attend. All in favor? Okay. Okay, our first addition was item F, the District 4 zone meeting coming up in Valley View.
From 14.
So I guess we're looking for attendance, right, is what Dalen's looking for. And then any resolutions that we may have, which we haven't talked about, so I think by virtue of not talking, we probably won't have any burning issues right now. Because what you said, the deadline for resolutions is coming up pretty quick, right? 27th, so we have basically the rest of this month, which is 2 weeks. So, Galen, Bill?
Yep.
Gary? Yep. Brent?
Yes.
Linda?
Sick of the date, I'd probably go.
You better not. Garrett?
That's fine.
Okay, and, I mean, the head council, by one, so I have a little, I can't speak for Brenda now, so.
We can add, we can always cancel.
Exactly, that's, I don't think there's even a registration for this one, right, it's part of our membership fee. So, yeah, we'll, RSP with, what's listed there. And you could put, CEOs, well.
Okay.
I'll make it.
Okay,
I did just have a question before we finish that one. The RMA questionnaire one, are we doing that as a collective? That got sent out after that, because Dalen referenced it in the letter and then we got it forwarded to us.
Yeah.
But are we doing that individually or as a
I
collective?
think individually, I think I already did mine. right?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I held off because I wasn't sure if we were doing it together or not. So I just wanted clarification. That's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, Councilor, this case moved to the log receipt, we'll let the chair know who's coming, and we have more resolutions, so all in favor? Carried. Edition G is a spring RMA convention, and EOEP course edition. So the voting.
Wow. Wow.
We did finish one.
Wow. Going to be under the new leadership.
Yeah. Here's first. Go over there. So I plan on attending.
I will be attending too and would like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
take a course.
You gotta take a course, okay, Maria?
Yeah, me too with the course.
No, I
No,
know.
what's, mine with that season,
You gotta give up your other job.
yeah.
Hoping by
Look at
September.
that simplified format, how much did you make last year?
Yeah.
Well, now they, guess what? They come up with a new program, just, and now want us to do it now.
Oh.
And you have to do it, and we're all learning. So,
Brent?
Yes.
Yeah, and Gary? Yeah. Good. And again, we'll put Brenda down, right?
yeah,
Because I know she likes to go and.
I'll leave that.
Register at the,
You wanted the rules of land use planning
yes.
and, then
I need land use planning. That will be my last one. Yay. Finally.
For the check mark, we need to be voting.
So unless they got some.
No, don't say that, Terry. I feel very educated.
If there's one that I need,
Well, they're right there.
Yeah,
No.
very first page of your
You need
agenda.
Roland's.
It's on an addition.
on the
You
addition,
need
You
Roland's.
need Roland's strategic plan.
Are they offering those?
Yeah,
for
I
you?
think so.
okay, I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one
I
you're-
think that was their showing
It's on
the.
sharing, but it's not on the screen.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know, those two things, that's-
So it'll be on the Monday,
March
17th.
probably have all my questions, but I guess not, maybe just.
They changed some of the names though, because I don't know.
Well, I think you do, Terry. I think that land use and, I think those two are the same.
Right.
For you.
that was-
So-
I couldn't compare
But you
because
got
they
your
didn't have the
certificate.
content of the old one with the new one, so they changed the name. I'm assuming it's the same.
But Terry, you
source.
got your certificate
Yeah, we did,
I did.
that you're finished,
Yeah.
so.
Must,
but you,
yes, it had
but
it.
they
one.
update
Oh,
stuff,
I
right?
gotcha, okay.
So I guess we'll have to look into that. And if I don't need it, then I may not. I may
I
not
don't
know
think you
till,
need-
I don't.
I might not look on Monday then. Get there in time for the Reeves and Mayor's meeting on Monday, and that's usually not till 5. Unless we had any other, if we get any minister visits or something on Monday, then I have one Sunday. But so far, we've had invitations, anybody have it? We tried to meet with Grecian last time, he wasn't available, we should try again.
Try again, yeah.
And I think Rebecca Phillips too, if we can, but. Okay, so we need a motion to register all of council except Linda. And then register them for the courses as they've picked. Okay, Councillor Liskey's made that motion, all in favor? It's carried. Item H is a public library service branch system board member training session. So who has to take that?
Did we register that? It was
You-
really
yeah,
quite
you can.
confusing. I did register the first time and then they said she wanted to withdraw the,
Oh, I know.
I just didn't, so I
And then
registered.
she said it was the wrong one and she was.
Oh.
So anybody that's on the library.
Yes, yeah, so I registered for that.
So
It's a learning, it's just.
At 6 o'clock, I think, on the.
it's all virtual.
Yeah,
So,
So.
Yep.
We're gonna register. Linda and Maria, right?
I think we
Or is
registered.
that- okay.
you know, we can.
Okay, so just need a motion to acknowledge receipt of that. Councillor Feast, all in favor? Just back up to the RMA, March 18th. We're having, our attraction and retention committee in Manning here is having a high school skills day on the 18th. And, I mean, my role, I chair that committee, but my role in that high school event was nothing other than coming and giving greetings from council and saying what a good job you guys are doing. And I said, well, I'm not gonna be here. You know, somebody else is here, but I just found out now that we're all gonna be gone, so. Mayor McLeod can handle that, because he sits on that committee as well, so. 'Cause I was thinking, we just had a meeting yesterday, we're planning, and I said, well, maybe if, you know, somebody that already lives close wasn't going, but they're going, I mean, the convention is much more important than 2 minutes to go down there. Okay, we can move down to finance, 6.1.5. Item A is a February bank reconciliation.
We're here to have your mind.
I knew that, you're in there, like it just keeps going.
I know.
And actually, we've got all the way up to May printed and posted as of yesterday, so it's good. We're finally moving in the right direction. So the reason they're longer, it literally details every transaction that goes through the bank account and then shows that it's been reconciled out. And the most important part is the two highlighted numbers at the top for you guys, showing that we've reconciled and balanced to the statement. So many more coming next meeting, and honestly, you'll probably have 10 bank reconciliations at the next council meeting, so.
Not good that it's on track and getting right now.
Well, if you had to sit in on the last meeting, I had to talk about this discussion, you would understand why.
He's
So
right
that's-
back for the job.
That said, is there any questions?
Yeah, and I can just say, so all the transactions are like the first 7 pages, and then. There's a heading that says outstanding bank entries.
Okay, so if everybody's good with it, we'll just get a motion to accept the bank reconciliation.
Page 47.
Yeah.
We got, for information. Councillor Reese, all in favor? It's carried. Item B is a vendor payment register for November.
Yeah, so same thing you guys see typically, it used to be called the check registers, we actually don't write any checks anymore, so. Vendor payment register just makes more sense. Here for your guys' adoption, as always, this is November and December, well, November for this one, December next item.
Yeah, I think we make two separate motions.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no questions, we can motion to adopt receipt of the November register.
I can make that one.
Okay, Councillor Chug, all in favor? And December, I didn't see the December register. Quick review, and there's no questions, we have a motion to acknowledge it. Councillor Felice, all in favor? Perfect. We got off easy today,
Yeah.
Josh.
We'll see how the next one goes.
Yeah.
Page 2 of the agenda. I don't know what one is there. No, keep going there and right after Charles is done, so. Item A, Public Works, this is our Public Works report, page 64, in your iPad. Charles, what you got for us?
Oh, well, I got a lot here today, but the general report, just figured I'd give you guys a little snapshot of our complaints and work orders and stuff like that we've done. So as it says here, we're down 14% in resident concerns. And we got a lot of work done this year. All these are internal work orders, so brushing, stuff that we did in-house, signs, etc.
I love the breakdown by ward, that was cool.
Yeah, that's, we keep track of them that way, it's just kind of how it's always been, and I actually. At first, it was kind of weird to me, but then I was like, oh no, this actually makes a lot of sense. It helps us target areas that maybe you're getting ignored or whatever, right? Try not to ignore anything, but.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. Second item there, the bridge maintenance thing, there's actually an RFP for that, it was in the, oh no, that wasn't an addition. But I'll talk about that. We also have 4 contract grader beats that are coming up for expiry. End of February, we are going to be putting those out for public bid. And see where we're at. And see who wins it. Once they submit, we'll do an evaluation on them, and there's a set of criteria that we'll evaluate them on. And see who's the best option. But other than that, that's all I got from my DPW report.
So I mean, the greater beats. Good chance, you may just end up with the same people doing the same beats again, if they're.
It could, I know that there has been some inquiries from people that want to put in for it, that. Sound really interested and are fairly experienced, so we're looking forward to see who we get.
Well, I mean, that's good, there's lots of competition, that gives you.
Yeah, we'll hopefully keep the price down.
Okay, any questions or any other questions for Charles?
Sorry, Charles, I didn't see this before, but I mean, do we have any comparisons to 2023 on the statistics here? The concerns and stuff like that? So you can see there's like a trend at one of the graded beats that is a concern or not?
Yes, we do, just not on here.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, oh, it's. No, I just, down at the very bottom, I just did the concerns in general, but we do have. Cause we track it, we put a thing together every year. Go through, make sure everything's accounted for.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When's up? CN stuff happening?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That actually, that popped into my head yesterday. I was talking to somebody about the different CN crossing, it's totally unrelated, but. I am gonna be poking and prodding to get
No,
the
it's-
contractor
Is it
going.
gonna say it's thawing again?
Well, and that was the issue at the beginning, was we couldn't get out there because it was too wet. Now.
It's
Kind
gonna
of,
be the same issue maybe.
mixed.
'cause it's melting.
yeah, so I'm gonna poke at them a little more to see what their plan is to get out there.
So poking it through CN or AT?
No, are the contractor that we're getting.
So the contract has been awarded, just that he's dragging his feet.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's, I would say. It's coming, we'll get them.
Yeah, I just
Push it on.
thought I'd bring it up again because it's,
No, I appreciate that, and yeah, it did, like I said, it came to mind yesterday talking about the CN crossing, so.
That's the brushing around that crossing,
yeah.
especially with the train accident that we had.
You know,
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
and the thing,
At
this
least
was coming up almost a year, well, I mean, it was late last summer when we had that meeting with them, right? And everybody agreed, yeah. Well, we'll wait for,
That was a year since that meeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So-
Yeah.
remember, like I say, we made good progress at that meeting, because you and I were there, and CN
Yeah.
was there, and AT was there. And,
And then there was some,
Other.
yes, and there was some promises that were made that were not
you know,
fulfilled.
we never said that, no.
Yeah.
Okay, no other questions? Somebody make a motion to accept the DPW report? Councillor Reese, all in favor? Carried. Item B, request for decision on the plain midstream drainage assistance, so.
Yeah, this is a bit of. That's why I left option 4, it's blank. This, we were contacted. I know, Terry had kind of brought this up a while back and then it kind of fizzled out. That nobody ever got a hold of us, and then just recently here, somebody from Plains had reached out and they want us to divert water away from where it's flowing naturally into a registered drainage channel. As it stands, even though that water is flowing to that drainage channel, everything in that area is flooding. Every spring, heavy rainfall, it's just not a great area. The reason for their request is they have a pipeline that comes under the Peace River. And on our side of the Peace River, it's eroding on the bank. And they have to do something about it. At the end of the day, the information that I requested from them was not done. There was no water modeling done. This has been a very rush situation. Even though they've known about it for a little while. That's kind of.
So is there an erosion issue prior to the pipeline installation? Or is it the result?
I don't know, the pipeline's been there for a long time.
Yeah, that pipeline was put in the 60s. right?
Yeah, so I don't know. But I imagine so.
Just before your time.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So, I mean, he talked to me, this guy here, that about this quite a while ago, like you mentioned. And they have done some mitigation themselves, but just kind of Band-Aid fixes, they put some rock and some dirt on there and just. Because the pipe was gonna be exposed, right, and once the pipe's exposed, then they have to shut it down.
Yeah.
They can't, and that would be a major shutdown for everything from Norman Wells all the way. You know, Santa Rainbow Lake, everything in between, so they're quite concerned about it. And what their Band-Aid fix was exactly that, he said, said we would have had a heavy snowfall last winter, and there would have been big runoff, they would have been in big trouble, right?
Yeah.
And so they didn't have that, they didn't have any major rains, so they kind of dodged the bullet, but it's just a matter of time when it's, when we've got a bunch of water there again, so.
Yeah.
I said, well, I have no idea, you know,
Um,
what we can do to help.
my main concern is the option that they have presented. Would be very expensive, obviously, to regrade the ditches to get the water to flow away from the drainage channel.
And they want us to do that.
They want us to do that. The other problem with that, and my bigger problem, is even if they were paying for it, is the fact that we are now pushing water into somebody else's ditch. And that, in my eyes, is not right and would require consultation with Alberta Transportation. They likely will say no, as they already have road flooding issues there anyway. Same with us, we do. It's a bad area. The other thing is, we spoke with a few people in that area, just to get an understanding of where is this water coming from? Where is it going? And the conversation was very good. In the fact that they are of the opinion that the issue or the adjustment should be made after the drainage ditch. Because it's crown land done. Now, there's several other drainage runs that are down there, so. Or like natural drainage channels, so. At the end of the day, the solution that was presented. I don't think is in our best interest, our residents' best interest. Or transportation's best interest for that matter. So I think it needs to be investigated a little more. To be quite blunt about it, not on our end. This needs to be more of a. It's a private company, I get that they're having issues, but so are we. So.
So what he suggested to me, one suggestion, this was just him speaking on his own, was it could be a. Kind of a partnership thing between the industry, Plains Midstream, the provincial government and the county.
Yeah.
To do whatever has to be done. You wouldn't be able to bring a map up and just kind of show us that area where that, where our ditch is.
Well, there's a map attached there.
Yeah.
You scroll down to.
Oh, yeah, okay, got it.
Nope, keep going. Keep going, keep going.
There.
It'll look like the GIS maps, keep going. That's just their town, that's the one.
So whereabouts is our drainage ditch now? That's the
The
Green.
green line there,
green one, yeah.
the Plains problem area is right there near the. On your right hand side.
Yeah.
So,
So what's the proposal that they said was to reroute that green ditch?
nope, so township 962, that orange line and 212. Currently, the water flows towards the highway, so it flows east. They want it to flow west and then south down 212. And it's just not a feasible option. You're trying to run water uphill.
Usually, who's got a mouse there that can show that? So they want the water from 962 that's currently flowing east.
Yeah.
They want to divert that west, which is, yeah, you can see how we need water uphill. But
That one?
It would be a major, yeah, it would be a major,
is that the right one, or he's hovering over there,
There's an orange one,
or this one here?
yeah, there's a little arrow,
huh?
there's a little arrow.
Registered draining
You
ditch,
can
is
use
that
the
one? green
laser
one?
on that.
So. So right here is 962.
Yeah.
This is 212.
Yeah.
This is our registered drainage. here's the plains problem. Water flows this way, floods out here, floods here, comes into the drainage channel. And I don't know for sure, but I think there's an erosion issue in our ditch anyway.
But there's the erosion rate where it goes over the hill.
Yeah, and then this is an issue. So the solution that some of these residents have mentioned is there is natural draws that come down the river here, along here, down like all the way along here. There are natural drainage draws. So at the end of the day, we need to do something or assess what could be done at the end of that drainage ditch.
So what was their suggestion, was to take that water from going west?
Yeah, so instead of it going
Going
this
east.
way, they want it to come this way and down towards transportation. But this area is a high flooding area. This area is, and same down in here and down in the park. Like there's flooding issues all in here. So,
And at the time, that registered ditch that we have.
Yep.
That was the main solution, that's where they told you guys to do it, so
Yep.
why wouldn't we change it? I mean,
the other concern I have with rerouting water is there has not been a proper assessment done on this. So you don't know, we don't know what the impacts would be of rerouting water to different points in the river, because I'm not an engineer, but it will have an effect. And is it positive effect, negative? I'm not sure.
Because at the end of that registered drainage ditch, then it's all crown, right, along the river?
I believe so, all of
They have a pipeline right away there.
Yeah.
Pipeline.
yeah, they have a pipeline right away, but that's not technically.
Oh, so the pipeline then would predate that drainage ditch.
Yeah, I assume so.
that's in the sixties. The pipeline, and that drainage ditch was,
When that was built, we'll find out probably.
we find out from the.
So I mean, what are those options there? Is there, what the solution would be to try to mitigate where it's eroding there, like put riprap in there? or
Well,
paving,
that's-
or-
Yeah, like I think if it, near the end of this, and I haven't, because at the time of writing this, I wasn't able to get out there, but. I'd like to take a look at this and see, because I think part of a solution would be putting gabion baskets in this area to slow the water down.
Yeah.
To stop the water, you're not gonna stop the water, but to slow it down is your best option at this point.
And then maybe they have to armor their pipeline somehow better.
Yeah.
Concrete or whatever.
I think so too.
So. Okay,
But I strongly believe that this needs to be assessed better
Mhm.
by an engineering firm. This is not something I'm gonna design up for you guys.
Did they use for the recommendation? Paul?
McElhaney. But the information that they got from McElhaney was essentially a site plan of their pipeline and some elevation shots around the problem area. Which, well, and I don't have the elevation data. I requested it and still have not gotten it. He emailed me the other day because I asked him for a couple things and he was met with, well, no, this is all that was done, and unfortunately, I don't believe that that's all that needs to be done.
So they haven't invested in any kind of investigation.
From what I have seen and what I've been told, no.
So this is just something they came up with, looking at the map, whatever.
Yeah, I believe so.
So I mean, like, he did tell me that they did, like I said before, that they did some temporary stuff to try to keep it from eroding any worse. But I mean, that's not a solution. That's
No,
just keep.
yeah, they haven't investigated it thoroughly. Right.
How come you knew about it, you know what I'm saying, like, or do we not have to direct it to our CAO? or
Well,
something?
this guy just called me one day and just told me what the
Well,
problem. is.
yeah, so
And I
this-
said, I didn't talk to the county of administration. Right?
Yeah, so this was back when Teresa was still here. And I think you just came into her office and I was sitting there and we were talking about something and whatever. And then you brought that up and I said, well, whoa, like. That's not really a an us problem necessarily, like,
Yeah,
and I didn't know the extent of it, like, just from our conversation, and that's where it kind of just fizzled out until recently. When he called and brought this up, so then he said he was getting an engineer and all this, and said, okay, well, when you send me the information, I'll present it to council.
yeah, that's what I said, when I just told him, I said,
Yeah.
talk to administration about it, right? It's not, nothing I can do about it. And so it took him a year to do it, and he finally did it.
Oh, yeah, I think it'd been more than that, but yeah, it's,
So I think a blend of options 2 and 3, right, would be what we go and apply back to with is.
So
But I
that's,
don't know that we need to take on an engineering firm.
no,
Or maybe
I-
they can, yeah, maybe keep us out of it, they can engineer it and,
Yeah.
but that we won't be proceeding with any redirecting of water, that's for sure.
no, and I mean. So
Is that gonna go
even if we were to redirect the water, there has been. Several comments that the water would get directed back. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
There's some good features out there.
Yeah. And the other thing is none of the landowners were aware of this. They had no idea. That this was an issue per se. And that they were contemplating making some changes out there. They're trying to get some changes. So. When we. I feel that the best option as well is to. Tell these guys like, you know what, you need to consult with people that are out there, because. You're gonna flood out farmer land. It's not gonna be met well.
I think they need to get a hold of an engineer and it's, I mean, not to sound harsh, but it's kind of a them problem right now, right? Like, we're already having issues there, so.
Yeah.
You know, it's affecting their pipeline and I get it's the greater good, but I mean. Get an engineer, and bring some information back then, like, I don't think that our taxpayers should have to eat that. It's a private business.
What,
I would think it would be bringing in some potential revenue.
I'm just gonna ask-
Like that, magnitude.
I'm just gonna ask Josh that same thing, what, do you have any idea what the assessment would be?
What Plains pays?
Yeah.
In total is about 618 grand a year,
How much?
618, 618,000 in taxes.
Okay, so that.
That's their total bill, so not all of that's yours.
No,
Cause they are taxpayers.
a big tax figure.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not saying that we can't partner with them, but I'm saying like, get the engineering done, bring it back, and then we can look at doing a partnership or advocating or whatever we need to do, right? Like, I don't know how we go ahead and eat that.
I think a big worry for them is this spring. And it was, we wanna get this done like next month, same thing, and it's like, well.
But if they've been talking about it for a year and they drug their feet for a year, like,
It's taken us
it's
over a
really
year
hard to justify that, right? Like, how hard is it?
well, the cost of shutdown for them would be enormous.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
So that's probably not even one day's revenue for them.
yeah. And I get it, right? Like the trickle down effect, and I get that they're a taxpayer too, but it's just. I don't know, you do the engineering work, like, I mean, you drug your feet for this long, it's hard to take you serious now.
Yeah, like it's,
That's my feeling. Do the work and bring it back.
and yeah, it needs to be properly engineer assessed.
Plus, you're not, like, this, the way they're, looking at it. Wouldn't we have to get provincial, permission to do that all, environmental and stuff like that?
So they have
already approached environment and are begging for expedited process.
To redirect that water.
To, well,
Step one.
yeah, and because of the erosion right on the bank of the Peace River, there is some environmental that they're already dealing with.
But they want to reroute it via transportation, so they need transportation
But then-
solution too.
Yeah, they would be very, there's a lot of plates in the air on that,
And I'm sure transportation would ask for the same engineering report.
guaranteed. Yeah. They'd want, hydrological analysis. And Lord knows what else.
I don't know, it's hard. It feels like an 11th hour thing and it's
But
frustrating.
So would there be any advantage or any upside to, we can't tell them what to do. We can't tell them to engage with engineers, but we can suggest it. But if we partner with that, so we're kind of in the loop of what they're proposing and what they're, I don't know what that would cost.
I would,
If we split the
you
bill or
want to
just,
venture a guess.
Well, they mentioned 215,000 as a complete,
No, so that was my estimate.
was that yours?
Yeah, that was just to do the rerouting, as they presented it. And that is a very conservative
But
estimate.
I would be very nervous that we just do it on our own and we don't have an engineering report and something went wrong and it's on you and me and Councillor.
Well, not that cost includes an engineer.
yeah, and I'm not suggesting do the diversion, like your cost is, I'm just saying, do a study, like a in-depth study of what's going on there, and so then we have something to work with, right?
Yeah.
And what some real options might be, because I don't think diverting water is really a realistic option for anybody
No.
other than them. We're just gonna flood out, we're gonna wash out AT's ditches, we're gonna flood out other landowners.
Well, I don't even think that's a solution for them either. That's another Band-Aid fix in my mind. Like if it's erosion, it's more than just diverting the water right now.
And
And
it's
it's-
not gonna be resolved, but look at it before this runoff.
No,
Absolutely not.
It's 3 months.
Yeah.
Well, and if it was an issue a year ago, like it
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
been done then.
Here we go.
So,
You suggest that we could do is slow the water down, right?
At this point, yes, and
What's that gonna cost us?
I don't,
And again, that's not something that's gonna happen before spring breakup, right?
no, it wouldn't.
I think we already have like +6 or plus, you said plus
Well, yeah.
or something.
It's probably already flooding up there.
Well, and like, what are our residents gonna think there when they're already battling erosion or not erosion, but like flooding all the time, and we're not willing to do a study for them to fix their farmland from getting flooded, but all of a sudden now pipeline needs us to do it 2 years after the fact, and here we are, right? Like, that's a tough issue too.
No, absolutely.
So we have that drainage report that was given to us many years ago, was 8 years ago, it was most painful presentation I've been through. These guys came and gave us this in-depth, because we did that study, right? It was a grant funded thing, and I think it just got put on the shelf, so I don't know if that would be any value that's relevant. Because it is for the Hawk Hill area. maybe.
Probably sitting in Lake Bell somewhere, but I can dig it up. Cause that's the other thing, is that's kind of, the drainage ditches is Blake's thing, but. At the same time. Kind of benefits both of us, right? Because I gotta get rid of water in my ditches and. In areas like this. We can get them to a bigger ditch. Helps, but. I can look into that, but
Yeah,
as far as.
I remember what I got out of that was whatever their recommendations, solutions was in that report, very, very expensive, right? We're talking millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah,
And so we just put it on the shelf, right? And said that was the end of it, but the information should still be there.
yeah, and that's. I can almost be willing to bet that price has gone up by about 15%. If not more.
So maybe like, cause the issue of like where the water starts, it starts before our residence place, right? Like, cause it, like on the map, it looked like it was, the water starts ahead of that, right? So could we reach back out to Plains and be like, you know, if we can come to an agreement, I don't know, like a letter of intent or something saying that we're willing to help share the cost, but then we would also address those issues for those farmers that are flooding all the time.
I'd be nervous about coming out and saying sharing costs
Yeah.
because.
I know, like, this is where
It's gonna cost.
I'm just thinking out loud too,
Yeah.
right? Like, how do you meet and make everybody happy, but it's, I don't know. I feel like, like, when I read this thing, it's like, they're asking us to do it on our dime, and it's like, whoa, like,
Yeah, cause they were at the time, like when I spoke with them, it didn't. Not get any indication of a cost sharing. They wanted us to divert water away. And fix, not fix, but remedy it in our ditches, in our road ditches. And it's just not feasible. But yeah, I don't know what the solution here is or what we want to tell them.
Well, I think the first thing is to get an engineering report that.
You know, we need something, some kind of a base rate, a baseline to work from. I mean,
on their dime or ours. On theirs,
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed if they want to keep us, you know, so we get the best information.
Yeah,
But I don't know, like I say, if it costs $100,000, 50,000 each to get a comprehensive.
I don't have $50,000. It's like, there's, yeah.
I don't know, I'm having like flashbacks of like ditching that has been done to mitigate on people's own property, and it's like, you know, we never did anything about it then, and now I just feel like because it's a pipeline, now we're jumping, like, it's hard, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable spending a dime on an engineering for it.
Well, we gotta get back to them for the time and I guess. At this point, we need a comprehensive study of it, right?
Oh, I think so.
And we also gotta mention, there's no. I don't know how you wanna word it, but we're not gonna look at diverting any water at this point, right?
Yeah.
So they're aware of that, but they don't think that that's a solution, right?
Yeah.
Well, didn't you say that you asked them if they're getting an engineer to do it, and they said they did?
Well, and that's what this McElhaney stuff that is in this package, that is what was given to us. That is all McElhaney did, was a sketch plan, and then a detailed plan of where the issues are. And then I come to find out the other day that there was elevation shots, likely by drone, taken just in that area. There was nothing outside of their problem area. Which,
So we only received these sketches, there was no write-up or anything on it. So that doesn't give them any commitment from the engineering side then.
the write-up was, there's a sheet in there called Plains Midstream Watershed Proposal, is what he called it. Page 72. That is the only write-up I have got from that. Minus the email.
That's literally 2 line items. Install 1 culvert, civil works, or ditching is the second one. Then I can also be an engineer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can see what they're looking for, like you say, I guess that's almost a Band-Aid. This is a quick fix to divert the water. And but it's just gonna push the problem somewhere else, right?
Well, and that plan is like literally just addressing their issue, it's not adjusting where it's coming from or stemming from, or fixing anything else that the residents complain about.
Well, it's, yeah, it's in fact, making our residents' issues worse,
Yeah,
so.
and that's where I'm stuck.
Well, that should be pointed out to them as well, that this is a problem area, lighting for these residents. Oh, throwing a couple culverts in is.
Yes.
Yeah, we have our own balance there with erosion and flooding. I mean, we're willing to look at options and we're not shutting the door on them, but they're gonna do some.
No, because I mean, if we could. collaborate on something that would make the entire area better. Okay, sure, but what's been proposed? Is not a good idea.
Like maybe, like you said, putting some rock in that drainage ditch, to slow the water down. We have one starting point, but that's.
And that would be for them, that solely. That doesn't, that in fact may make the issue upstream worse, because if you're slowing the water down here, it's going to back up over here. So it would be a very flimsy band-aid.
I don't know. You're not stopping water, you're just slowing it down, it's still,
Yeah,
the
but it's
elevation's
still-
gonna be lower.
As it would still back up over here.
But eventually the drain, as the elevation is lower.
Yeah.
Let's have a look what Teresa's been listening and typing here. County advises them to speak. Diverting, not diverting.
We need to specify the study more, I mean, because they might just come back and say, well, we just did an engineering study, didn't you see the sketch? Like,
Yeah, we can.
just maybe like an in-depth, or how do we,
Just, put in there,
I don't know what.
comprehensive hydrological. No. Yeah, there
Did
you
you get that right?
go.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it's a little bit more precise on
Yeah.
that, right?
Now, about, and speaking of local residents, is that part of the solution or?
I firmly believe it would be, I think that they need to go beyond that. They need to bring transportation into it if this is how, because. Even though if we don't divert this water, it's still coming across transportations right away in that area. They should be involved in this. Because not only, like I said, everybody's stuff's getting flooded and eroded. Every year we've got washouts down there that we end up fixing.
Without slowing down the water already.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that Naughty Field Park access
Yeah.
continuously washes out. Right?
Yeah, prime example. So that's. Yeah, I mean, if we divert it to some natural water runs or something like that after the drainage ditch, that help. Well,
That's why I need a study.
that's why, yeah. I did my. Quote unquote. Paper engineering. That's the best that we could come up with.
I don't know, can we maybe say something like kept informed of the issue and like somehow say that we're not willing, like, we're not saying no, like, we would still consider partnering, like, I think that we should be clear that we're not saying no,
Yeah.
just,
We could say.
we have accountability.
If the council at this point is not in favor of proceeding with water diversion.
As presented or something.
Until more information.
Yeah.
Comes available.
Yeah, I like that.
I could put something together and send it to you guys here. Probably. Next couple days.
Yeah. I just think it's important to say like, we're not willing to get on board.
Or at this point.
But I think we gotta put in there that we're open to further discussions about opportunities.
Oh, yeah. Because I mean, what's good for them could very well be good for us.
Well, just go back to if they pay over $600,000 in municipal taxes every year, then we can't just say, well, thanks.
Well, yeah, it's,
I'm not saying we're going to spend it all on fixing their problem, but we definitely want to make sure that we're good neighbors with them, right?
oh, yeah.
Because of one issue in that area.
Due to historic issues in the area or something.
Diverting water because of what?
Any discussions regarding that? And,
So the footage, right after the very water.
Okay, that's what you're saying, it's not very spotted.
should you have an issue? Opportunities for solutions.
Yeah, I think that's good there, like,
I think that's.
I can write
motion.
something up, I get the gist of it, so.
We can be more in depth in the letter.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'll write something.
Yeah, okay, and also you're gonna write a letter in response as well besides this one, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So. But a mouthful there, but I think it covers it.
I'll be the bad guy.
Okay, Councillor Shug's made the motion, I just want to read it once more here.
Flood issues or just flood issues?
Pardon me?
Flood issues or flood issues that you want to say just issues?
Choose and possible solutions.
Yeah, not crazy. Well, you are. No, cause
That's way to say you're clean like from.
Okay, any further discussion? No, all in favor? Carried. Yeah, let's take a break. No, we'll do your item C first before we come back to the issue. Item C is the 2024 bridge maintenance tender award.
yeah, so this one, as you know, we're a little delayed on doing our bridge maintenance for 2024 because we're waiting for things to freeze and proper timing, but these are the bids that came in. A bit of a spread, but the engineer discussed with the low bidder and they are confident that they can do the work for the price they set out. Mainly because they have a lot of the materials already in stock. We're recommending to the engineer as well to go with the low bidder because it's well within our budget and could potentially get some extra side work done at the same time under the maintenance contract, so. It's here for your guys' decision if you have any questions.
You're in after the. things and-
It was in the addition.
Oh.
No, was it?
It's in the addition package. Yeah, I read the first page and I panicked. I'm like, that's a pretty big spread, but then I read the report and I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, he did a pretty good job of analyzing.
Why would you panic? That's never made us in the box before.
Not gonna lie, I read the notes report a couple times just to make sure I wasn't missing anything. I got a lot of highlighted notes on here.
Yeah, did that opening and I got panicked.
We're just trying to buy work so they can give everybody.
If they were buying work, they'd be $100.
I don't have the
I mean,
people,
trying.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
I don't have the people to do it.
We don't have a project now. It works for us.
93.
Gonna make money flower chains.
Just clarify for me, this is for the 2024 bridge maintenance program.
Right.
Which is already behind us. So how does that work? So
We will do another bridge maintenance tender in probably, I would say the fall. Cause next year's, well, we haven't fully decided what we're doing for bridge maintenance coming up in 2025. Well, it seems like
So this is where it wasn't completed in 2024, that they're
correct,
doing
that we
this.
rolled the money over to 2025.
Gotcha.
And it's just unseasonably warm through the early winter, if you want to call it that.
Okay, so recommendation is to go with Griffin, and they've done work for us previously, right?
Oh, yeah, they actually, I was happy to see Griffin on there because they do
They
very
do a lot of
good
stuff.
for us and have done a fair amount of work for us, if I remember correctly.
Sure seems like a big spread though.
It was, some of these were from a fair distance away as well, so they counted in a fair amount for bringing crews up. And just,
Different.
yeah, and some of the bid items were heavily packed.
What could go wrong with using the lowest bidder?
You wanna say that's what I was getting at? Okay.
I'll make this motion.
Okay, Councillor Reese moves to the sewer report
Willing to risk.
and award the contract to Griffin as recommended. Any other questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, let's take a 15-minute break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jump up and turn that mic on again when ISL talks. We were just getting a lot of feedback through the ceiling speakers here.
That's the culprit.
I have no idea. Can't troubleshoot that right now.
No, especially when you plug something in.
Reconvene and we'll go to 6.3.2 roads addition. A is a request for decision on road reclassifications.
Yeah, so this one here. It's been brought up a few times and we've just kind of monitored it a little bit. The concern is valid. So 235 that runs behind the airport that connects 922 and 915. Is a fairly well traveled road to get to Notikewin or into Manning or those areas. It's currently designated field access because nobody actually lives on it. So it is by definition field access. But after assessing, it would be better off designated as a collector road because of the amount of traffic that it collects.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me.
Me too.
You're probably reading it anyway, we could.
Well, we aren't really opening it, we're. As it was classified as a field access, we're kind of leaving it be, but, there was recently. An individual who. Plowed it for us. And we don't want that happening, so.
Just with a tractor or with a grader?
Yes, tractor, tractor.
Do a good job.
No, so.
And they also usually try.
And thankfully I haven't seen, but the video he talked about is not surfaced on social media, so it's a good sign. But yeah, they would just like to see it graded, we don't necessarily have any opposition to it. Something too, like with some of these classifications, and this is just in general. Some of the roads are not necessarily classified correctly. It's all well and good to look at a map and go, okay, well, people live here, 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 and here. Those are in residential areas. That's great, but something that we want to try to deal with once we get our traffic counters is assessing some of these areas and seeing, are they actually classified how they should be? Because, and that's gonna take some time. There's a fair amount of data collection to happen there, but in general, we're looking pretty good. But we just want to make sure everything is classified the way it should be. And thought process there.
Well, and we knew this was gonna happen as it went on, right? That we're not gonna get it 100% right the first time.
No.
There'll be adjustments as we go on.
I got approached, guy in our area has animals down the road and, guys, well, they just bladed across and put a big berm in there. And, he had a hell of a time getting through to, even get there, but it's, a mile down a road and this
So
is.
the mile down the road wasn't a problem, just a greater burn that the.
Well, both of them, they put a big berm in front of it. So not only does he have
Jump over that, yeah.
he has to jump this berm and then fight the snow on the road too to look out his animals. So,
But it's a field access road.
yeah. The goal of it's not far, the problems I could come and blow it out for them, but it would just with tracking, but that's, cause you can't leave the animals. Horses and cattle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, can't relocate them, it's probably where he stands there.
That's all he's got is that absent or just about a little better than quarter back there against,
Because they'd have an alternate spot to take them then.
no.
So Charles, are you aware of that or?
No, this is the first I was here. I didn't know that. Which road are you talking?
Oh, I have no,
Oh.
I don't,
Maybe,
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
bring it up and we'd have to bring it back to council and.
Yeah, we can look at it and one of the points I really want to stress here is even with these redesignations, the residential areas take priority. Well, school bus areas take priority. And then residential and so.
oh, he's not, like he's not pushing that part of it, but
Yeah,
it is just a fight to get
oh,
down there,
yeah, but to hit it every now and then. Yeah, we can definitely take a look at that.
Okay, so we'll take it up later. So for now, reclassify this road as pointed out, Range Road 235. Any further discussion or questions? We want to make a motion that we do that. Councillor Becker has made that motion. All in favor? It's carried. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, council.
And we move down to 6.1, development. Item A, subdivision report 24 NL 16. So do we still have ISL online? Gail, was it?
Wrong.
Sorry,
Joined us.
this is Deb's report. I will just check and see that she is online. Just one moment, please.
Okay, thank you. Just do not leave that alone. Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, council. I'm just grabbing it here. The applicant is proposing to subdivide a 5.4 hectare or 13.3 acre parcel from the northwest 36-101 west of the 6th. The applicant intends to construct a cabin on the parcel. The proposed parcel conforms to the Ag A district. The proposed parcel is located on Township Road 1020, 26 kilometers northwest of Keg River and 24 kilometers west of Highway 35. It is undeveloped. It's within an environmentally sensitive wildlife zone for grizzly. However, it is not within the key wildlife biodiversity zone or within an environmentally sensitive area. The balance of the quarter, also designated Ag A, includes a cabin, is heavily treed, and contains an unnamed creek, swamp, and marsh. There are no well sites, record of spills, or contamination within the parcel or the quarter. There is a low vapor pressure pipeline running diagonally through the quarter, owned by Plains Midstream Canada. A low vapor pipeline contains low vapor pressure products such as crude oil, gas, and diesel. There is no county water line or potable water well within the parcel. The applicant proposes a cistern and an outdoor privy for sanitary purposes. The proposed parcel and quarter are designated Class 4 soils. Although Class 4 soils are considered better agriculture land by the MDP, there are severe limitations because of soil structure and excess water, which indicate a poor soil quality. The quarter section and proposed parcel have legal access from Township Road 1020 to the north. The county's level of service policy designates Township Road 1020 as a field access road. These roads provide access to undeveloped ag parcels or areas with no year-round residential development and are shared with forestry, energy, agriculture, hunting, seasonal cabins or campsites, and other recreational uses. The proposed parcel complies to section 4.2.9 of the MDP, which allows for subdivision of vacant first parcel out. It's heavily treed and not actively farmed, and the parcel of 13.3 acres is warranted as the parcel represents a suitable building site and is intended to accommodate a seasonal cabin. And it's not in agriculture production and has access from Township Road 1020, not prone to flooding. It exceeds the maximum lot size in the land use bylaw of 10 acres. However, maybe it can be a larger parcel size for lands that are not in agriculture production. No reserves are required. Yesterday, I received an email from Plains, and so I'd like to add, in addition to the conditions, another addendum, which I've sent Teresa a copy of the wording, but we're recommending approval subject to the conditions outlined and the 3 addendums. And the final addendum is written permission is required before crossing the Plains pipeline and prior to performing any ground disturbance plan within 30 meters of the Plains right-of-way. This is to ensure the safety of all parties. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Deb. So, did we get those addendums?
She just emailed those this morning. So no, like an hour ago, I noticed that she did that, but she said them out loud.
Yeah, she read them.
I'll look at them.
You add them to the. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, so on the hand drawing, it says Township Road 1020, but on the generated proposed subdivision plan, it says Township Road 1015A.
I just looked at that to verify, because I thought the same, and it is 1020.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, hopefully I put the changed 1020 in, because it is 1020.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, if not, we need a motion to approve this subdivision with 8 conditions plus the three addendums. Okay, Councillor Reese makes that motion. Final call for questions. All in favor? That's carried. Okay, next is item B, subdivision 24 ML 15.
Okay, and I will be speaking to that one. So the applicant proposes to subdivide a 4.0 hectare or 10-acre parcel from the southeast 228624 west of the 5th for an agriculture residential parcel. The proposed parcel size conforms to the Agriculture General A District of the county's land use bylaw, which allows for a maximum of 4.0 hectares or 10 acres. The proposed parcel is located west of Range Road 242, 1.6 kilometers west of Highway 35, and 6.9 kilometers south of Dixonville. The subject quarter section and proposed parcel are designated A District. The proposed parcel is in the northeast corner of the quarter section and contains a detached dwelling and accessory buildings, with exception of a small area in the southeast portion of the quarter section that is under cultivation. The balance of the quarter section and proposed parcel are covered with trees and or used for pasture land. The proposed parcel is with an environmentally sensitive wildlife area for grizzly. However, it is not within the key wildlife biodiversity zone. There are no well sites and no records of spills or contamination within the quarter section. There is a low pressure gas line owned by North Peace Co-op within the quarter section and an ATCO power line with the proposed parcel. The quarter section and proposed parcel are not within any historical resource value, classified land use designation, and the proposed parcel is not within the Grizzly Gravels aquifer. The proposed parcel is designated as 80% class 3 and 20% class 4. Class 4 soils are considered better agriculture land by the Municipal Development Plan, and the MDP allows for the subdivision of better agriculture land provided the parcel represents the first parcel from the quarter section or is a farmstead separation. The proposed subdivision meets each of these conditions. A wetland review shows bog, marsh, and swamp. The two quarter sections that are west and southwest of the subject lands are Crown land, and a parcel to the southeast is Country Residential General District. All other surrounding lands are zoned agriculture. The proposed subdivision is compatible with existing and future land uses in the surrounding area and is not considered to have a negative impact on adjacent lands. The proposed parcel is assessed from the east or accessed from the east by Range Road 242, which is designated as a residential road. The proposed lot is serviced by an existing well, septic, and open discharge pump out system. Policy 4.2.5 and 4.2.7 of the MDP allows for this subdivision because the proposed parcel is the first parcel or first subdivision from the quarter section and accommodates a farmstead separation. There, section K1.2A1 of the land use bylaw allows for farmsteads 4.0 hectares or 10 acres in size to accommodate related farm buildings and improvements. The current private sewage system may not meet the separation distance requirements for an open discharge pump out system. The homeowner has advised that they are in the process of or have completed the relocation of existing services to meet requirements of Alberta private sewage system standard and practice. No additional comments were received from referral agencies or adjacent landowners. It is recommended that the subdivision application to create one 4.0 hectare or 10 acre parcel from southeast of 228624 west of the 5th be approved, subject to the conditions outlined.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, I look for a motion to approve the subdivision with the 6 conditions. Councillor Shug? Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we can move to community service 6.62. Item A, rec board donations. Josh Trinity, I see Trinity was online. You wanna speak to this?
Not a whole lot to speak to, just standard report showing you what both direct boards have received and contributed towards. Yeah, answer any questions, I guess, if there are any.
The requested amounts. Say we use the north, for example, 145,000, and the funded amount was 70,000, that's 70,000, that was their total budget. So they both north and south have spent their. They were allotted,
They had, yeah.
and they're reloaded.
And
again
they
now.
both, I think another important takeaway is they're both receiving twice or more. Of what we're giving them to dole out to requests, so. It's important to note as well.
Yeah, just about exactly double that on both of them. Any other questions?
It's a hard decision sometimes, I mean, with these requests.
Which one that board?
Doesn't seem to matter what I do.
Okay, no other comments, questions, we'll just do a motion to acknowledge receipt of the direct board funding. Councillor Reese, all in favor, carried. The next item B is the Peace River Chamber. Davis Awards coming up.
Yeah, so just they sent over their sponsorship package. So I've included it in there. You guys have had this as part of your budget now for over a decade, so it continues to remain in there. I think, like I say in the report, I advised them we would contribute to it again, so. They specifically asked us in the letter to sponsor. For the Marketer of the Year awards. With that level of donation, I don't think there's free tickets, so the rest of it just kind of shows you. I don't even think it says when it is actually, oh yeah, January 25th, so. If any counselors would like to attend this, you'll still have to
And the Marketer of the Year is $1,000 there, it goes.
which is what we budget though here every year.
Okay.
That way for a number of years.
Right,
I don't, I guess.
we should have got the dessert sponsor.
Yeah.
So we need to, I mean, we're going to still have to approve the $1,000, or it's already been.
It's already committed, it's in your budget,
So
so that's fine, this is just for your information, really.
If we want to send anybody.
But I think historically, we typically sent one or two counselors. We used to, a few years ago, actually get 2 tickets with our sponsorship level, but those have changed, so.
Times are tough.
Yeah.
Well, anybody want to go? I mean, I would go, but if somebody else wants to go,
I am not available that weekend.
I don't. You know,
We should share the love. I've gone twice and you've gone a couple times.
I could go.
Good for them to see other faces.
Anybody else? Wanna go? Yeah, well, hard to say. Well, that's, nice to think she might, but I can't speak for her, so.
I don't see the price of the tickets though.
They're like $95.
Not cheap.
I think they were $95 or something when I looked.
So, before you buy, I'll need to check. Like, what's supposed to be my, buy hers for her, obviously. But. You know, it's much of she's opposed.
Times are tough.
Exactly. Okay, Councillor Beckman has moved that we acknowledge the receipt of the report and purchase a ticket. We will attend. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Wait, We moved down to the two additions, 6.6.3 ag services. The first one is, ag service field visit. So they're, want to come down this summer, right? Did they come last summer, they carry on, June?
Yeah, this is their report notes. In this, they put all the recommendations aside. Their big thing is they want a lot of stuff on our website, which I'm not sure how much of that you guys want on there. It'll take a sizable amount of time to put what it sounds like they're requesting be on there.
How
We
many
don't,
thousand all do you have? We have to put that on already.
yeah, it sounds like they want bios on all you guys on like what your agricultural experience and relevance is. The problem is we have a website, but like we're not actively updating it and changing literature on it, supplying it. Like they talk about a lot of resource creation, which they don't really pay us hardly anything. Like they pay us 160,000, which is like 17-18% of what we spend to do the things they require of us provincially. We don't have an in-house extension person that is creating all of this literature and links to put on our website. So like what I do is if somebody phones me a question, I find a good resource and then send them somebody else's resource that they spend a lot of money on people to create those detailed resources in the first place. So to me, a lot of this is kind of like what I'm gonna push back on them, kind of saying like, why are you, like when I read through the report they given us, it seems like somebody that was paid to generate comments. And so a lot of my questions, they'll just say a comment that sounds good. And it's like, yeah, but like, what are you really asking us to do? Like, what is the threshold you're requiring us to meet this objective? Because they've never provided us with any examples. So like, is what we're doing meets that objective you're saying by having these resources that we send to people that aren't ours? Or do you actually need a website? Because the way they wrote this, it makes it sound like our website is now to like meet what they're asking for is gonna have more ag related stuff on our website than the entirety of the website has to begin with, which is then like, well, who's doing that? Me, Trin, combination of both of us, how often are we changing and editing this? Like, and then some of it goes back to them, like realistically, you're giving us 16%, but you're asking all these additional things of us, but you're not providing any of the necessary funding to actually carry out those goals. So I know it's last second. I just got back from Arizona on the 9th or something, and we got delayed flying into Grand Prairie, so I missed Friday. So we got to you Monday. But mostly, even going through their report, they have tons of errors in their report. They mention inspectors that obviously aren't from our county. They mention gopher
That would make me laugh.
gopher road management stuff when there's no gophers across the Peace River. So it's like, where are you getting that from? What municipality is that from down south? So they have all these errors I have to send back to them anyways for them to fix. So because this requires a sign off, like on the very last page, we have to sign off saying we got it and we agree with your recommendations and we're gonna make the implementations you guys suggested. A lot of their suggestions too are constantly updating our policies and procedures. I feel like agriculture has changed a lot, but our day-to-day policies and procedures, which we work within, have not. They're pretty common, standard placed. So like in the future, do you guys want me bringing you policies and procedures for review and sign off? Because what I'm saying to them is I review my policies every year, like just quickly read through and be like, yeah, that's still working for us. That's not working for us. We bring them and we change them as we need. We changed almost all of them when I first got here from the previous guy to do more aligned with what I wanted to do. So like, is that something you guys want to see going forward, is reading the same policy over and over again and reviewing it every year? Because that was one of their comments on basically everything, was that we feel like you should be reviewing your policies more than you are. And then my comment back to them was, well, internally they are by the admin that use them. If there's no changes, I'm not bringing them to you guys to have you guys go over 20 10-page documents every year that are the same. Like, I don't think Public Works is doing that. I don't think Charles is coming to you with unnecessary changes or review. So part of what I'm gonna push back on them is being like, are you just making a comment to make a comment? So when you show your boss, he looks down the comments, go, okay, you provided comments, good. Or are we actually trying to make something better? Because why would we sign off on this saying we're gonna do all these things when we have no intention of you guys reviewing policies every year? And then a lot of their comments is you gotta update your policy to keep up with current changes. My comment is, please provide me and enlighten me what the changes are that we're missing. Please tell me what they are and we'll change them. Whereas to me, it just seems like a comment to make a comment. So I'm trying to, one, if you guys had the time to read through that and you agree with those comments, that if I should go back to them and be like, can you please give us constructive comments that are like things detailed you want us to fix? Or this just a comment of a box checking exercise on your behalf for your boss, or like what's going on here?
Well, when I read through it, like just my own comments are like enhancements, okay, great, like let's enhance it, like let's review our policies, you know, every 4 years when our council changes, since that's who's the thing or whatever, but like, do we really need to waste all the time on a bio? Like, nobody's gonna read the bio anyway. You know, and some of it was like, I could get behind and could see the enhancement value, some of it was just like, I think you're right, like a lot of just nitpicking, wordsmithing.
See, the problem I also have with the
making it
website
ridiculous.
is nobody my age, and maybe all you guys, like, I don't know how you guys use the internet, but I'm not going like, I wonder what's in the County of Northern Lights. Let me go to the County of Northern Lights website. I'm Googling it, and then I'm trusting Google takes me to the right place, and I'm sorting through that. A lot of what you're seeing now on Google, like Meta AI, Google's AI, it'll right at the top before the search results at the bottom, it'll give you the AI response. Like AI is like, I poured through these 7,000 websites relevant to your, here's the best answer I'm giving to you AI. Like that's the future. The future isn't people going to the County of Northern Light website and spending an hour just trying to go to all the different tabs and see what's on there. They're trusting the search engine is giving them the best result pulled from that. And then maybe if something doesn't sound right, maybe the odd person will go to your website or look up something specific. But if somebody has a question about fusarium on their farm, they're talking to their agronomist and they're going on Google. They're not going like, I think the County of Northern Lights hired Blake, and Blake is created a 100-page PDF telling me everything I need to know about fusarium, because like we're not doing that, right? So I don't see the practicality in what they're asking us to do.
Yesterday, I went to try to find out about wolves in county. I'm finding it, about wolves, our bounty and stuff.
We don't have a bounty.
That's what I'm saying, but there's nothing saying we don't have a bounty. And I didn't know where the blazes to go. I tried ASB on the website. Sometimes it just kept saying, no subject. You know, it's not there.
Yeah, so we have a new website that's different than the old one. A lot of the stuff that we had on the old one, obviously, if it wasn't relevant, because we don't have a wolf bounty, we don't have it on there. Also on our website, we don't specifically say whether it's Ag Service Board, Public Works, all the things we don't do. Yeah, the policies are on there. Yeah, they can find a list of the policies, or supposedly can. I have them on the F drive, so I don't go to the county website to do that, but like, we also don't spend a lot of time on our website telling everybody the things we don't do, because where would that end? We would just have lots of nonsense pages of being like, yeah, we don't do this, we don't do this, we don't do this, right? So we're like, we do have a wildlife pilot project for, that's not a bounty, but if somebody is having a bad problem, we will work with them to try and reimburse if they work with, let's say, a trapper. Kind of like how the BC program works, where if you want to bring in a trapper, or if you have the expertise yourself and you're going to document and provide us the information, like with either trail cams or pictures, or at least the best guessing, I think it's a pack of 7. And then you're going to eliminate the pack from that area off your farm to target the whole pack. We will pay for that up to $500, but nobody uses it because it's a lot more work than I just casually shot a wolf and I want to bring it in and get $200, right? So we haven't had a wolf bounty in at least 3-4 years now.
So where would the person find that?
Well, they phone me, I get the history.
If they want to use our website and find it.
Well, that's, I guess, the other question is how much stuff do you guys want on the website, right? Like,
I would rather see practical things like pilot programs or policies than how many cows I have on my farm and what my background is.
Yeah,
Like a lot of it, like reading through, like, is just a main work project, like, in all honesty, it's.
well, then you get to the end and
I don't know where the value is.
the only critical thing we failed on was not having a designated separate ag service board, but we basically implemented that immediately. I think by the August, September meeting, we were already doing separate. This one's not separate just because, like, I gave it to Teresa on like
Right.
1:30 on Friday, and it's gonna re-come back to you guys for a sign off. I wanted clarity, like, do you guys want me sending them those comments being like, can you guys provide us with something tangible that we can actually do
So
better?
my question is our, even though it's only 17%, $160,000 grant, is it contingent on being a good field man and doing this report that you asked, or is it not really, there's nothing tied to the funding? If we,
Well, like, as this is currently, we currently pass our audit, right? Like, and we're fixing, the only things you have to fix are the critical ones, which, like I said, we basically implemented within a month time period. We fixed it basically before even getting the report. We were proactive that way. So like, this ain't gonna hurt us. They have a new grant funding coming out. And I was in discussions with the lady, because I'm filling it out now. It has to be submitted by January 31st. And that whole grant funding, the way they have it structured, 3/4 of the grant funding is like filling out detailed how you're gonna do extension and outreach as an ASB, like how you're gonna promote the ASB out there, but it's like, to them, you're paying us 16%. What we're spending the money on is controlling the stuff you're legislating us. We don't have an ambassador running around promoting and doing all this extension work. Like, that's why we pay Napera the $100,000 to do some extension and outreach, but they're also doing things particular to their vision and what they want to do, right? It's not ASB focused. So when I was asking her, I'm like, you guys made this grant process. It should took me like a day to do the last one, to submit for the last one. This one's taken me like a week, because I have to tell them how we're gonna do all these things and what it's gonna look like and how we're gonna report on all this stuff they're not giving us any money for. So my excuse, my reasoning to her was, you're giving us 160,000, we're spending just under $1 million. I should be able to send you a sheet of our budget and go, you give us 160, we spend $1 million, thank you, have a nice day, here's our allowable expenses on what we're spending on staff, programs, whatever. Thank you, we qualify for the grant on expenses, right? Much like how if you got a grant for like feed subsidies or whatever, if you can max the grant out on proof of allowable expenses, you don't have to jump through all the other hoops. Whereas she's like, well, some municipalities need to jump through the hoops. As my point was, we don't. So they're, for some reason, down the road, placing an emphasis, and I think this is kind of where this is going, on what are you doing for extension and outreach? So the next grant going forward is gonna have a bunch of that in there. Where like, I don't feel like that's necessarily our priorities. I think our priorities are like boots on the ground, day to day, how are we managing and controlling weeds and doing that? It's not, what are we doing online, right? Unless that's where our focus wants to go, which it seems like the focus of this report is.
so is this something that needs discussion for next week at the provincial conference at the chairs meeting, or on the general assembly, or?
Well, the chairs meeting basically has no time at all. It's allotted 30 minutes. So they're basically gonna talk about very few things there. I think they're gonna give an update on their policy positions and stuff like that. Field visits, basically 1/5. They do a 5-year rotation, a few in the south, central, northeast, northwest piece, and they get their 14, 15, 20 municipalities they do, and they do them. So only like 1 out of 5 went through this kind of new process compared to the last process, where the last process was, they showed up, they had lunch, we looked at a few things, they visited us, they took pictures of stuff, and then they texted you back and said, yeah, everything looks good, like emailed you back, right? Now this has an official sign off, like, do you agree with the comments? Like, I don't agree with a lot of their comments, like even their comments on the Animal Health Act, they say that me and our Ag Service Board should familiarize ourselves with the Animal Health Act, like we don't know what it is. When the whole thing of the Animal Health Act is we play a supporting role. which basically is if there's a disease outbreak, we act as a supporting agent to, like much like emergency response, we find a place to do disposal and burial, and we work with the vets and we work with the chief provincial vet. We're a supporting role. So that's all we need to know about it. It's not like we're actually administering the act. It's not like the Weed Control Act or the Pest Control Act. So like with their comment of we don't know nothing about it, it's like, what do you guys want us to do? Like, are you guys as the provincial people that wrote the act, are you gonna come and train us on the act? Like, what would you guys like us to do? That was my.
Couldn't it be a simple answer that we know the act exists and that's end of it?
Yeah, so they say create a policy. I wrote, okay, so we're gonna create a paper that now we're gonna have to review a year that basically says, we know the Animal Health Act exists and we are willing to support it. That's what we're gonna create. And then the next time they come here, they're gonna tell us, why don't you review it every year? And it's like, well, okay, like,
Would actually want a policy on it?
yeah, that's, because I don't have a policy that says basically what we just said. We understand the AHA exists and we're willing to support it. We don't have that piece of paper, not good enough for them, right? So, but on what we do have for there is we have the veterinary service policy, right? Which basically says we think animal welfare and health and success is good in the municipality, and we're willing to commit $50,000. So our financial contribution of $50,000 to animal welfare and health in the municipality to retain a vet locally and other surrounding vets that use our VSI is not as good as the piece of paper that says we know it exists, right? Like, so I'm just like, if everybody's good with kind of where my red comments are and the errors they have on their side, which is kind of like, I can't believe you'd send that to us with that many errors, but if you guys are fine with me saying, send it back, these are our comments, can you provide us with actual constructive comments or just leave the comment section blank? We'd prefer that. If you don't actually have a good comment, and then get us back this report that like something we could actually sign, right? Because to me, it's not, or we can delete all my red comments, say just fix the general errors you guys have in your notes and on the back sheet of paper. And we'll give you guys the fluff you're requiring. But it's gonna take, I'm guessing, to put all this stuff on the website, like once we have it on there, it'll be fine, but it's probably gonna take a combination of me and Trin 50 to 100+ hours to get that to a state that they would be okay with.
And to be fair, it's under enhancement, it's not under critical, it's not under significant, it is enhancement, right?
Yeah.
Like status.
And I don't think we're gonna lose it, like by the sounds of it is, if you can prove you're doing enough extension and outreach and you have a full-time ag fieldman, you're basically gonna be getting guaranteed the $160,000 grant is kind of what I heard from them. So like, I'm not thinking we're gonna get jeopardized in any way by this, like in the grant I'm applying for. I am putting in there that we are gonna start like over the next 5 years, working on incorporating some of this stuff onto our website, but it's basically gonna be very simple. It's gonna be, we understand Fusarium or clubroot is a pest of Alberta. Here's a link to the Canola Council website where you can find the detailed information on that. Like, it's gonna be like bare bones skeleton and directing people to other places. And that's what it's gonna be over the next 5 years. I just think at some point somebody should push back on these people and say, like, if you're gonna require us to jump through these hoops, you better start funding us at like 90% of what we're spending, and then we'll gladly jump through your hoops. But like, when you're at 16-17% and now you're throwing out all this fluff, it's like, you guys gotta realize where you're coming from, and you guys should just be so grateful we're willing to spend another $7 or $8 for every dollar you give us. And like, understand where you guys are coming from, right? That's my opinion on like where the grant has gone and what we spend as a municipality. Like, it's.
So some of the bigger municipalities, the bigger ag service boards, I mean, they have, how many people have that? The ag fieldman and assistant ag fieldman and assistant to the assistant, and they got big staff.
I just see Grand Prairie has 9 today, full-time ag
And
fieldman.
Sturgeon has probably 6 or whatever.
I think Grand Prairie is actually one of the highest. Grand Prairie, Greenview, like MD of Bonneville's big. Like a lot of these municipalities that have big oil field money, Northern Sunrise, like comparison for size wise, is
So my point
large.
is that they have the resources that gladly give them something to do, right?
Yeah,
But where your case, that's really not necessary, right? I mean, if you work on it over the next, how many years, putting these links on the website, I don't think that there's any, if it's not gonna jeopardize the grant, I don't think we should be worried about it today.
yeah. So just delete my red comments and just,
Yep,
okay,
you're okay with
I'll just
that?
have them change the,
I think leave your red comments where they're wrong though, like. So that they update the right information, right?
Yeah.
yeah, on their notes, I'll just have them change their notes.
And we have, we're having a regular ag service board now, right, not just mixing it in at our council, so that was the big flag, right, and that's been addressed.
That was the only critical,
Yeah.
critical one, which is fine now, and I'll just leave that comment on there, basically saying like. This has been rectified since August, like it's, you can
Okay,
mark it off.
okay, so we'll get a motion to acknowledge that field visit report and, yeah, another one word that send back to identifying the errors.
I think that should be, for ASB, you know, we have a meeting.
I'm gonna bring this back when they,
That's what I'm saying, so we should just accept this as information.
yeah, and I'll just send it to them, asking them to fix the errors.
Yeah, when you bring it.
Yeah.
Is that okay? I mean, that's what I understand, we should be having like
So you can see it.
meeting, but we're not.
Yeah, we'll bring this back on an actual ag service board meeting when they change the errors, and then Terry will sign it.
We can send it back.
Does that sound right? I mean.
Yeah, I just,
To cover our.
I just decide this, except for information. I know what you guys want me to do.
Okay, so we'll just accept that information today then. Councillor Al, just need that motion, all in favor? Carried. Okay, the next one was, funding update.
So before Christmas, we discussed that they want to fund an EA position. I made you guys aware the conference makes money. I feel like they should take some of the surpluses from that conference, set aside an amount needed to host the next conference, and then a surplus over that should go to start building basically a contingency fund. They're pretty hopeful that the grant funding for the EA position is gonna get renewed at the current level, but I'm kind of telling them like, hey, we should be proactive, and if we can take $20,000 a year, put that money in an account, and then whatever, if we decide 100,000 is enough, that buys us 2 years in an assistant before we have to start charging memberships. That gives us that maybe 2-year buffer to decide what membership should be. Maybe they reduce the grant funding, and then we could pull partial funding out to keep that EA assistant at the same level. I talked to Sebastian, who I thought was the chair of the ASBPC. He's the vice chair. So Brenda Knight, I talked to her. Sebastian wanted it to come from the floor. Brenda said they're so busy with what's on the 2025 agenda that she would rather it not come from the floor, and that she'd rather make it a priority issue to start having those discussions between the ASBPC and AAAF executive over the course of 2025 and bring it for 2026. I just agreed with her and said, like, if that's what you want to do as the chair, we'll not bring anything forward or urgent, like catch you kind of off guard kind of thing. So if that's the way she wants to handle it as the chair, I think maybe we should just agree to have these meetings. And I offered that us and our Reeve would be willing to attend either virtually or in person if we can, these meetings, and present kind of our side, or if they're comfortable handling it by themselves. I also talked to Bob, who's our regional ASBPC member, just letting him know about the idea. And then we're basically gonna kind of trust that they do this over 2025. Both Brenda, Bob, they like the idea. They think there should be some transparency on at least the ASBPC's understanding, like what does the conference make? What are the thresholds? What are the allowable expenditures of surplus items? I don't think they want to get into like the granular details of hosting the conference and the day-to-day stuff, but at least having some general oversight, kind of like similar to how you guys have of our budget, is appealing to them. So talking with Brenda, I'm pretty hopeful she's going to make it a priority in 2026 for for us, so. That's kind of what I discussed with them. Not sure if you guys have any different feelings on it or.
So they'll. Funding this executive assistant, what you say is necessary, and they cannot do it without really, that'll be. Discussed with the executive, not with the main body of the. Ag service boards.
I think the ASBPC and the AAAF executive. I think like, cause that's gonna be. Like 24 people already. Discussing and walking through the budget and understanding the money and what's there and what solution should be offered. I really don't wanna see it come from the floor. I didn't wanna see that before December anyways, because if you're trying to take. 350 to 450, 500 delegates from the floor that have never considered this, never heard of it. Some people are gonna be like, they've been there for a year, their first year as a AAA, of an Ag Service Board member at large. They're not gonna know. And if you're gonna try to pull 3, 4, 500 people down this of understanding it, it is gonna get quagmired all over the place, to get off track. Like, I think they should figure it out, put together 1 solution, 2 solutions, 3 solutions, and then they bring it to the floor and then it voted on by everybody there, either speaking for or against. Like, maybe they determine they don't want to do anything or
So it wouldn't be till next year then.
2026, yeah. They wanted to delay it because from talking to them, they don't, from what they're hearing from the province, they don't feel it's super urgent because they're pretty confident they're gonna be given funding again for an EA. My whole pitch to them was like, let's get something in place to start setting these funds aside, right? If we set, who knows, maybe we get 100,000 over 5 years and then it sits there for 10 years and then we don't need it. Maybe the NDP get back in and decide, hey, Ag Service Board's not a priority. Well, at least we have money set aside in a GIC or whatever that we can start drawing on while we decide what the fee should be, right?
So we'll just leave it then. I mean, if some other Ag Service Board brings it up, I guess we can speak against it, right?
I don't think anybody's gonna bring it up other than us.
Yeah, but definitely won't be us.
Yeah, well, and I'll follow up with her in February, March, just see where she is with it, where they're at. They went to a different structure too, last year, where how they decide presidents is that they got a president and then they got a first chair and a second chair. So that's how they always go out, that the past president after 2 years becomes the vice chair on the backside. And then the new vice chair that comes in, they're waiting in line to be president next. So then there's that kind of continuity of you have somebody on your right that's already been there for 6 years, and then you got a new person on your left coming in for their first 2 years while you're doing your 2 years as president. So hopefully this way there should be a better continuity across, because what happened before is they used to have a president or a chair that was there for like 10 or 12 years. And then all of a sudden they'd retire or quit or be gone, and then they'd have no direction. They'd be like, where'd this guy leave off, right? So now that's a good change I think they made last year.
So Brenda's still president, yeah.
Yeah, she made it sound like she has next year's her last year, which she made it sound like, so I'm trusting her on
Well,
that.
so we'll just, like I say, we'll even open this up there at the conference, and so we'll take, if anybody had any questions, otherwise we'll get a motion to accept this Sunday report for information. Okay, Councillor Reese. Any final thoughts? No, we're good?
Did you guys want to talk about the conference and if somebody else wanted to go?
No, let's get through this motion first.
Oh.
Yeah, so all in favor, Gary? Yes, we have a few things about so Gary's gonna present a resolution, I'll present a resolution. So we need to get those printed off for us, so we can study them a bit more or email them to us, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
And you're going, right?
Yep.
What day are you leaving?
Monday morning, early?
Are you going alone, or is your family going with you,
No, I'm gonna take myself in a stock trailer.
or?
Just a stock trailer.
Or just you and your stock trailer?
We got some animals I gotta pick up in our Drawson, so I'll run to our Drawson, drop them trailer off to the conference.
You're not leaving until Monday morning?
I don't think I think it's just like a later afternoon.
Well, the chairs meeting, right? The chairs meeting.
Yeah, the chairs meeting, but it's like at 4 or something. 2:30, yeah. So I'm gonna leave real early in the morning, like 5 or something.
And Brenda's council now, so can you see if you can, get a registration back, or how does
The
it?
way the registration works is, I'm guessing within 48 hours of the first day of the conference, you ask for your registration, and then you have to wait for all the bills to be paid, and then whatever surplus is left, they start paying back registration fees. Is what they do.
Just be aware that you can, so, you know, let them know that we
Yeah.
have one cancellation.
I'll pre-do something up for send it on Tuesday. So we're within that 48 hours, submit our request unless somebody else wants to go for Brenda, the hotel. Should be fine to cancel. Yeah, so we'll submit that request to get it back on Tuesday.
Okay, so yeah, so get the resolutions to all of us that are going, but especially for some Gary can kind of get reacquainted with them.
I'll send you guys the whole resolution packages and then the two of you, I'll just send the two of ours, so you don't have to sort through the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess probably we should went through them today to see how we want to vote on them, but
All the resolutions, we went through all the resolutions pre-Christmas,
okay.
so my notes. You guys have them all digitally, or do you want me to send you my memo thing of my notes and things I had? Would you prefer, or do you have it digitally like?
No, that's fine. We'll in the- And there's only two delegates can vote in each service board.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. So I'll get your guys' clickers for that. So what is there going? You, Gloria, Gary, Kalen,
Four of us are going.
Linda's going.
2, 3, 4.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll meet you guys there. I'll try to be there at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at the Delta.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet because really don't need to leave on Sunday. It's only a 6-hour drive if the roads are good.
Yeah.
And be there for 2:30 quite easily. But I don't know if I want to. So where you dropping your stock trailer off at?
Or Drawson,
Or Jocelyn?
which is like 15 minutes east of the city. Northeast of Sherwood Park, kind of.
Yeah. So it's that.
Yeah.
And then you gotta go pick it up, you're loading something on the way.
I might run down to the conference, do the meeting, and then run out there after too. Then I'll only have to leave at like, I don't know, 5:30 or something. Should be able to get there.
What do you hold home?
Bought some Galloway cattle at a sale on the 7th.
Built in Callaway or?
No, straight black. One's red, actually. Yeah. I think we're all at the Delta too now. So
Or able to get us all in there?
last second, yeah.
And now Brenda's canceled, so.
Yeah.
I'll be wondering.
Before it was gonna be 2 of us across the way, me and Gary, and some openings come up, then they got quickly booked up, and then Teresa said she phoned last week and booked us 2 in there, so she'll cancel 1 hotel today, and I'll do the request for on Tuesday on the 21st.
So Linda, and where you're driving down Sunday,
Monday, probably, Monday, because we don't have to be there till.
register not based.
Yeah, Terry's the only one that has to be at the, or whoever you do. If you want Terry or Gary to attend, like whoever, only one of the counselors has to attend that chairs meeting and then me. So the rest of you guys, you don't have to, I think there is a welcome at 4, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah, we don't have to be there on Sunday.
I mean, last year, we
Monday.
went there and have. Yeah, you know, snacks out there, finger food and drinks and.
Yeah.
Kind of showcasing Lethbridge area. That's nice, but it's not necessary, right? So.
One year Minister Horner was there too.
You're not moving down there?
No.
Yeah, one year they had Minister Horner there, did some kind of
Yeah.
opening meet and greet.
Well, it's right here. Yeah. Welcome to Edmonton, Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, a word from Minister Segerson. He's gonna be there at 7. And then Brenda might give welcoming at 6:30, so. Reception and lights up there at 5. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
guess there is a little bit going on that evening, but. Not actual conference stuff, right?
No, not till Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're home. Heading home on Thursday. All of us.
Okay, we'll make a plan. Linda had a question about our registered water ditches. You have files and all of them, right?
Did you have a-
Of our licensed drainage ditches?
Yeah, the drainage ditches, all.
Yeah, back in 2008, you guys paid Samming Engineering to review them all, figure out like where we stand, what's registered, what's not registered.
I mean, there's history on them, like when they were
When they were
constructed.
constructed.
Yeah, so in these binders, we have all the back of the binders, there's all the engineering of cutouts, elevation change, design. Oh, yeah, it has the whole history of like when they were built, who they were built by, what provincial body funded the creation of them, like whether it was municipal affairs or,
It was a-
well, each drainage ditch has like probably like 10-page summary.
that's what it is. It's one of those, they were built.
Yeah, they're all different.
I'll get
though.
them the info.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, they're all different. I just don't know how much, do you want the first 10 pages of like each one or?
Why don't you make a sum? Built.
It's just a list, yeah. Yeah, we can do that, I can put that in Excel,
What can you got 2 or 3 there,
one big one.
one big one, and really what's it doing now? It's droppings. You know what I mean, it's kind
Yeah.
of like.
Most of them only run water 3 weeks out of the year, like big rain, a storm in July or something, and for 2 weeks in April, May, depending. Well, yeah, lots of the one in Keg River, it's fenced in between Kelly and Freeman's and they run cattle in it, right? Like. A lot of them are like that. Yeah, it crosses the post road, goes up to Michael Chuck's.
So I guess if you're looking for information, just get hold of Wick and he can give it to you. You're asking about when it was constructed.
You want all of them or just one?
Yesterday it was mentioned out of Northwest East at risk about the drainage, which you brought it up too.
Maybe that's when
Yeah, but they want information on,
on that stated reason report.
yeah.
Yeah, so Wanham, Birch Hills, we went to a meeting there and they wanted to create this initiative, but they basically like. What they sounded like they wanted to do was compile all this data and then go back to the province and throw it back and say, you take over these ditches, we don't want them anymore.
Yeah,
Give us the money.
and that's what I was asking, who built it, and when did we?
Yeah, so they sent us a letter requesting for information and we sent them a list of. All our drainage ditches, where they are, where the inlets, outlets are, basically pulled off of our GIS system, all that's in there with the data creation on an Excel file. And we sent them all that information, like this is where they are, GIS points, because they wanted to put it in their own GIS system. Yeah, we do, it's a little ugly and hard to read. But we've already sent that to them, and then they were asking for much more detailed copies of all of like easements, so across every quarter section. And we basically said to him, like, that's way too much personal information. If you have specifics you actually want, we will get them to you, but please provide us if this is good enough or not. It was basically sent off kind of in an overlap period between Teresa and Gerhard. Not much more, but I think like May or June, we sent that to them. So we provided all that to them and they haven't come back to us saying we would like more information.
We were actually mentioned as one of the few counties that did respond, so we're happy with our response.
Well, good for us. We're doing good. But yeah, if you want, it's an Excel file. It's like, if you're not good with Excel and editing Excel, it's kind of ugly to look at. Like, it's just boxes. But like, if you want me, I can email you a copy of all that, or if you just want the specific ones in Keg River. Oh yeah, between the 1930s and 1980s, and then some of them were rehabilitated in the 90s and 2000s when you're in early MD.
Maybe just filter out those fields and leave the rest in there.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys sort that out.
Does anybody else want it or just
We'll see
Linda?
you and, see you at the conference.
Yeah, do you guys all want the stuff or just email just Linda? I'll send it to you then.
I mean, we were discussing drainage ditches with something else and it would be nice, so.
So I see we have a MPC, a Municipal Planning Commission agenda here too, that we, can probably get to.
Great.
Yeah, 30 hours. So let's,
Yeah.
adjourn this meeting. Everybody can find their agenda for the Municipal Planning Commission. You guys are set.
Please. Thank you.
Is on the same console. Everybody vote. Good, I'll come to NBC meeting report at 11:31. Item 2.0 is the adoption of the agenda for the brief agenda, but I need a motion to adopt it. Okay, Councillor Sharp, all in favor, it's carried. Minutes from our meeting on December the 10th. Any discussion from them? If not, I'll need a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting. Okay, Councillor Malabisky, all in favor, it's carried. Development permits issued by our development officer. This would be a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the development permit DP 2427.
Excuse me. I'm wondering if you could change that development permit number. It's incorrect in your agenda and it should be DP 2447.
Okay. Is it like the application, 37?
It's
Oh, so it's just the agenda was wrong. Okay, all in favor? It's carried. Development permits issued by the planning commission. Two of them there, DP 2444 and DP 2446. Need a motion to,
We have to talk about those ones.
yeah. Okay, who's gonna discuss those ones with us?
Okay, I will be doing the first one. So the applicant proposes to develop a detached cold storage building on lot 22, block 2, plan 9926522 within the southwest of 18522 west of the 5th. The parcel is 3.47 hectares or 8.57 acres in area and is designated country residential CR1 district by the county's land use bylaw. The proposed development is defined as an accessory building and listed as a permitted use within this district. The applicant has indicated that the proposed cold storage building will be 12.2 meters or 40 feet in width, 18.3 meters or 60 feet in length, and 7.93 meters or 26 feet in height. The building is located more than 100 meters from the property boundary line, 27 meters or 88.5 feet from the rear property line, and 43 meters from the closest side property line. The subject parcel is adjacent to Highway 743 and 9 kilometers north of Peace River town limits. There are 8 titles on the quarter section and all are zoned CR1. The remaining adjacent parcels are zoned agriculture restricted, AR district, or Crown Land CL district. This proposed development is compatible with surrounding districts and land uses. The parcel is accessed from a service road paralleling Highway 743 to the east. No new access is being proposed. The proposed development was reviewed against the county's municipal development plan and land use bylaw and relevant provincial legislation. All setback distances for the accessory building exceed the front, side, and rear yard setback distances required in the CR1 district. The proposed development does not meet section 1 or I 1.6 of the land use bylaw, which states that an accessory building shall not be more than 6.1 meters or 20 feet in height unless otherwise approved by the development authority. The height of the proposed accessory building is 7.93 meters or 26 feet, requiring a 1.83 meter or 6 feet variance to the maximum allowable height. Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors and Alberta Environment or Energy Regulator responded, indicating they had no concerns. No comments were received from any other referral agencies or adjacent landowners. It is recommended that this application for an accessory building, cold storage building with a variance of 1.83 meters or 6 feet to the maximum allowable height on lot 22, block 2, plan 9926522 within the southwest of 18522 west of the 5th be approved, subject to the conditions outlined.
Okay, thanks, Gail. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, so we need to approve a variance first.
I actually just.
You put it right in with the development permit. You can do that.
I think so. It makes sense to just do it with the actual application.
Gail, can we
Yes.
just variance in with the development permit? Or should
Yes,
have-
I would, just as it reads, I would pass a motion as we've recommended with the variance included.
Yeah, the reason I ask is Typically, we always have a separate motion for the variance, depending on what it is, maybe a building height is different, but if you're okay with that, we're okay with that.
Okay,
So if somebody wants a motion that to approve this development permit with the 7 conditions, including the variance that's in there. Well, okay, Councillor Reese makes that motion. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, carried. And the next one.
Thank you.
2446.
This is an application for Spur Petroleum. They're proposing to operate a temporary industrial camp to accommodate 23 workers from January 15th to March 30th on the northeast of 13104 west of the 6th. The land is designated Crown land, and the proposed industrial camp is a discretionary use. The site has previously been utilized as a temporary industrial camp. It will occupy an area of 80 meters by 50 meters, will consist of a main building that is 34 meters by 17 meters, a parking area and an area for water and sewage holding tanks. The main building contains sleeping quarters, recreation room, and kitchen. They are proposing to haul potable water to the site and to dispose of wastewater and garbage at approved off-site facilities. The applicant has indicated that the wastewater storage and removal has been approved by the energy regulator. The applicant has received a road use agreement from the county for the one municipal road they will be utilizing, which is Township Road 1020. They will be utilizing existing roads from other operators in the area and have received agreements to use them, as well as AER temporary field authorization approvals from AER and existing LOCs. No grading of the site is proposed. The applicant will be removing, prior to the spring thaw, the industrial camp buildings, and any associated infrastructure will be removed from the site, and any snow piles and berms will be evenly distributed for even spring melt. The lease agreement disposition survey with the province addresses all aspects of the operation, including stormwater, setbacks from water bodies, waste disposal requirements, erosion control and reclamation requirements. As the development is located on Crown land, a copy of the lease agreement and disposition has been provided. The camp is located approximately 53 kilometers southwest of Keg River, 52 miles or kilometers west of Highway 35, and 97 kilometers northwest of Manning town limits. There are 2 abandoned wells on the quarter. AER Directive 79 requires a setback of 5 meters from the well and access to the well. However, in some instances, this may be reduced. The distance from the camp to the abandoned wells is 179 meters. AER has also confirmed that referrals are not required for subdivision or development applications that do not include permanent dwellings, business, or public facility as part of the application. We're recommending that the application be approved subject to the conditions that are outlined.
Because you've done the road use agreement with them, and this is gonna go.
Yeah, they've had a road use agreement for a while.
Right.
Yeah, they're not new to the area. They're
No, just, I see it goes to March 30th, so we will be on spring breakup conditions by then if there's road.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, as any hauler, if we're 75 ban, then
Yep.
guess what? You're
Okay.
they laid dog short.
All right, so 14 conditions on here. Somebody want to make a motion to approve this development permit with those conditions? Councillor Halibisky makes that motion. Any final questions? All in favor? You are in favor, Gary? Yes, that's right, that's approved. Okay. The agenda. I will see miscellaneous, nothing, so with that, I will adjourn our MPC meeting at 11:41.
Thank you.
And thank you.
thank you.
Okay, we go back to our regular agenda. Just about to the end of it. Word reports. Any verbal word reports, anybody else submitting?
In December, I felt like it was nothing really. I had a Zoom meeting. Last week, it seems that we're sort of trying.
December was
Yeah.
pretty quiet. Brent, you had anything? Nothing?
all had, you know, give the regular council.
Meeting part of it, not seeing it.
Okay, just need a motion to accept the written and verbal word reports. Please. All in favor? Carried. Info package, there's one addition to it. Any discussion coming out of it? Not need a motion to accept the information. Councillor Chug, all in favor? Mike, down. So down, we're, I don't know if you caught it at the beginning of the meeting, we're gonna go on camera, then we're coming back to one item on the regular agenda. That you're welcome to come back from that if you want, but, otherwise, you know, any questions so far? What's that?
Oh, probably head back.
We'll probably head back, for sure.
If that's all right.
Well, it's your choice. I mean, it might be something you might be interested, but that's fine. That's, so you have no other questions on today's meeting?
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm, that council is not in favor of the water diversion, but you're open to discussions about it in the future.
Well, open to not water diversion, open to solutions, what other solutions will be?
Thanks.
I mean, if water diversion is the recommended solution, well, I mean, we're open to discussing it, but yeah, that's. We're just open to discussion solutions with industry, right?
And with the pipeline from Plains Midstream Canada, you said that, if erosion, could possibly cause huge issues for that, because it's a significant pipeline in the northwest.
It is, I mean, so, I mean, any pipeline is controlled by, and this is a interprovincial pipeline because it connects to the Northwest Territories as well. So I think that they're fairly regulated and probably, I don't know, I haven't seen the regulations, but I don't think they can operate a pipeline once it becomes exposed. So if erosion exposes it, then they might be forced to either fix erosion or shut it down until they do. But, yeah, so I mean, that would have an impact obviously on anybody upstream of it that's using it.
And regarding the issue that I missed you later, is there someone I can maybe phone about that later, or?
Give me a call.
Oh, you, there's your answer.
Thanks very much. It's just I'm a bit under the weather today.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Great.
And with that, if everybody's good to keep going, we'll move to the camera. Yeah. The motion to go on the program.
Don't need me, do you?
No.
Okay.
I'll move, Ken.
Well, what you need.
Ready?
Not for this.
11:45. All in favor, vote camera carried. Yeah, how's the leg coming along, Charles?
What's that?
How's the leg coming along?
Better.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I went to physio last Thursday and he said it's better than what he was.
motion to change the meeting.
I'll move.
Okay, Councillor Chug moves it. We change the start time to 1 PM. All in favor?
On the 28th.
Carried.
German.
Adjournment.
No, thank you.
Yep. We're covering all the bases.
Cool, thank you.
Did you record?
No, we had no items.
This is, we talked about the school.
Did you stop the recording?
I did.
Okay, so Terry, if you're going Monday, maybe we'll hop in with you, but otherwise, Linda and I will.